Plate tectonics revision. Imagine the Earth as a hard-boiled egg. The thin, brittle shell is the crust that we live on. The thick, jelly-like white is a deep, hot magma beneath the surface, and the yellow yolk represents the core of the Earth. Okay, here's a map of the tectonic plates. Okay, you can see that some push together, some pull apart, some run alongside each other. Okay, so this is like the hard shell on the boiled egg that has been cracked into pieces or plates. There are 4 types of plate boundary that you need to know about. There are constructive plate boundaries. This is where the 2 plates are pulling apart and moving away from each other. An example is a North American and Eurasian plate. There are destructive plate boundaries, okay, and these happen when the oceanic plate is forced under a continental plate. Our example was the Andes Mountains in South America. There are conservative plate boundaries where the 2 plates run alongside each other. Our example of this is the San Andreas Fault in America. And there are collision plate boundaries where 2 continental plates, 2 land plates push together and form mountains, for example, the Himalayas. Okay, this is a more detailed destructive plate margin. Okay, the oceanic crust is denser and heavier, so it sinks. The continental crust is forced upwards into mountains and volcanoes. At the subduction zone, a deep sea trench is formed where the plate is being forced downwards underneath the continental plate. When the oceanic crust begins to melt, as it goes down into the hot mantle, it starts to float back up. Because it is made up of lighter material than the mantle, this means that the magma erupts back to the surface, creating volcanoes. Okay, this is collision plate margin. Okay, when continental plate meets, the continental plates can neither subduct the other one because they have the same density. So they are pushed together at great pressure, so the rocks crumble together and form massive mountain chains like the Himalayas. These are called fold mountains. Constructive plate margins. Okay, there can never be any gaps on the Earth, so when the tectonic plates pull apart, magma from the mantle rises up and solidifies to fill the space. If the oceanic crust is pulling apart from oceanic crust, then new crust will be made. This means that in some places the seafloor is actually growing. This is a process called sea floor spreading. This is happening along the mid-Atlantic ridge between the UK and America. Small chains of islands are created in some places and new crust is created, and it builds into small volcanoes that sometimes break the surface of the water. If continental crust pulls apart from continental crust, then the same process occurs as magma erupts to the surface to fill the gap and a volcano is created. Conservative plate margins. When plates move alongside each other in opposite directions or in the same direction, but at different speeds, earthquakes are created. The plate margins are made up of rock that is brittle and jagged, so it's difficult for the plates to slide past each other. So when the plates get stuck, pressure builds up and eventually one of the plates will jerk forwards. This sudden movement and release of pressure is the cause of earthquakes at this type of margin. The most famous conservative plate margin is the San Andreas Fault on the western coast of North America.